Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are going to be talking 90 Day Fiancé Season 9 Episode 19 Part 2 of the Tell-All. It is the finale of 90 Day Fiancé Season 9, the final part of the Tell-All. The season is done. It's done. After 19 straight weeks, a long season, it's finally done. So we're just going to dive right into it. I got a lot to talk about and a lot to rant about. So this episode started off with, we left off with the cliffhanger with Jabri and Patrick's brother John going at it. So they brought John out to talk about Patrick and Thais's relationship. And, John's been, I said last week, you either love him or you can't stand him. I'm on the side that not a fan of him. But, he came out, I think he was a little bit intoxicated. He might have been a little intoxicated, but he came out, he said his piece, he pretty much wishes them the best, basically. And, but, Jabri, as we mentioned last week, Jabri was just up in everybody's business, just being so ignorant in everybody's relationship, and he butted in. So after their segment was over, they go backstage, and John is talking to everybody, just talk about his birthday and talk about what he does for a living with everybody. And then Jabri is in another room with Miona saying, I like Patrick, I like Thais, I think John is a what. And so he goes into the room where John's at, and then a producer comes in and says, we're ready to get back on set. And all of a sudden, Jabri just starts attacking John. He was just like, I'm not going to go back to filming if we got to film with this dude. I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to knock him out if we do or whatever. And John was like, no, you're not Sparkles. He kept on calling him Sparkles. That's been the ongoing joke this week about calling Jabri Sparkles. Other YouTubers call Jabri gibberish, and now his new name is Sparkles. Now you're not Sparkles. You got to bring it. You're in the dish, you got to bring it. And Jabri was like, you're gonna be the one bringing it and all that. They were just going back and forth. It was really petty. There was really no need for that. And so it was just whatever. And everybody goes back on set, I forgot to mention this in last week's video. Kenny from Kenny and Armando and Tim from Tim and Veronica. Kenny and Tim were at the Tell-All. We usually been seeing them on Pillow Talk, but Kenny and Tim were at the Tell-All doing some backstage commentary on stuff, and they decided to interview John. And they just talked about John. They just talked about what just happened and everything or whatever. And I think Tim was just like, I don't drink, but I will have a beer with this guy. This guy's pretty funny, Yeah, I do. And, I'm starting to think with Patrick's brother, John, I'm starting to think that they have John may have a condition where he's probably maybe not functioning well, and that's causing him to drink. And I think Patrick knows that, maybe not saying that. He's maybe not saying that for the whole world to see, and Patrick is just taking care of him in that aspect. So I don't know. So everybody goes back on stage, and Sean Robinson, the host, asks Jabri, what happened backstage. And Jabri was just like, when someone's toxic in my life, you cut them out. I don't like the bullying. I don't like this, and that. He was so rude to them. He was talking about the bachelor party that he wanted to throw. They should have clipped him back in the season about the bachelor party that he was planning on throwing them and stuff. And Jabri was just so upset about it. I just don't, dude, it's none of your business. I mean, I get it. I do see both sides, because I'm not a fan of John. But, Jabri was definitely in the wrong of this. And then he kept on saying, I didn't do it because I have so much respect for you, Patrick. I have so much respect for you, Thais. And then he called John trailer trash. And I think it was Kara asked Patrick, what do you think of your Jabri calling your brother trailer trash? And that's not really funny. And Patrick did not say anything. But Thais was actually happy that Jabri did that, because Thais was like, this is what Patrick needs to be doing, and Patrick doesn't do that. So I'm glad that Jabri said something, So Thais was the only person who thought that what Jabri did with John was good, So I mean, I give Patrick credit for like not entertaining the situation and not engaging in making the situation worse. But Jabri was just so ignorant. I'll get back to him in a minute. So yeah, that was the end of that scene. So then we talked. Then after that, we went over to Emily and Kobe, and Emily and Kobe, they already had their baby. Remember at the end of the season, they were pregnant again. They had a baby girl named Scarlett. I forgot to mention the name last week. They had a baby girl named Scarlett and stuff. And so Scarlett's doing really well. They all still live at home with the parents. Then there was a little baby discussion about I guess Emily freeze-dried the placenta and stuff, and they just went on this talk about that. I guess Kara said that she started people cooking it and stuff. It was just it's the pregnant talk. It's that kind of stuff. I don't have any kids, so I wouldn't know. So I wouldn't know so deep in depth of that. But it was a little bit okay. Okay, whatever. So Emily and Kobe, the baby's doing good. Kobe's working and stuff. They still live at home with the parents. The parents joined in on the tell-all, and they said that they do need their own space, but we're still here for them, and they just they're just like. They brought up the scene. They brought up the scene about the breast incident. Remember at the beginning of the season when Kobe saw Emily breastfeeding, and Kobe was upset. He was like, "I don't want to share them with my son. I don't want to share the breast with my son." I'm like, but Kobe doesn't see, in his culture, doesn't see breastfeeding that so much and that necessary and stuff. And everybody was asking, how long do you think a baby should be breastfeed? And Kobe thinks 17 months was plenty, but some people still do it in 2 years, 3 years. Remember Evangelina Michael, he's done it until he was 9 years old. So yeah, they just had the conversation about that. And Sean asked Emily's dad when they were joining on the tell-all, what did Emily's dad give him the day of the wedding? As we seen when they had their little heart-to-heart before the wedding a couple weeks ago, Emily's dad gave Kobe, handed Kobe something in his hands, and we don't know what it was. I'm starting to think Emily's dad said something that really meant a lot to him and stuff. And I guess it's sacred, but they wouldn't share what it was. I'm guessing it was just a note or something. So, I don't know. But, Emily and Kobe seem to be doing well. They're still having their ups and downs, but they're doing well. So, next I want to talk is, we're going to switch back over to Eve and Mohammed. So, Eve and Mohammed, so, their storyline this season was, Mohammed got here not comfortable with Eve's culture, with how she dressed and everything, and then the friends dogging him, grilling him about this and that and stuff. So one of Eve's friends from her little squad, as she calls it a squad, joined in on tell it was Tatiana. She joined in to tell her and asked them questions. And Muhammad started getting real upset. He was starting to get, why would you ask these questions? In any culture, it's offensive. And she was just Tatiana was just no, we have conversations about sex all the time. It's pretty normal here and stuff. And Muhammad was like, you could talk about sex, but you don't have to bring me into it like that. They were going back and forth. They were just trying to find a common ground here, but there was just no common ground to be caught up. But they eventually, they did hug it out. They were like, okay, I do respect you as a person. Tatiana was like, maybe we did come on a little too strong. And Muhammad was like, well, maybe I overreacted a little bit, but they hugged it out. He was uncomfortable. And they're just on their thing, just looking after Eve. Eve is still not really saying much. And they also brought back that scene when Muhammad wanted a new sponsor, And that scene when Eve and Mohammed were fighting about the new sponsor because Mohammed wanted to get married right away so he could start his paperwork for the green card, so he could start working and stuff. And Eve was just like, no, I didn't want to do it like that. I wanted a real wedding. I didn't want a courtside wedding. It's just, it's just not special to me. And I agree with Eve and stuff. And so, they talked about that scene, and everybody's just like, that's hurtful. You can't ask for another sponsor when things don't go your way. And then there was a big discussion about the paperwork. All the and this was a clear Americans versus foreigners debate here that went into it. All the Americans were like, there's a lot of paperwork into it, a lot of stuff that needs to be submitted, and you got to submit so many documents, and if you just miss one, you'll be easily denied and stuff, and that's just a lot of hard work. And all the foreigners were like, oh, but we're coming here, and we want to work, we want to contribute, and this, and then all y'all got to do is paperwork. I'm like, no, it's not that easy. It's not that simple. So it was a big Americans versus foreigners debate about that. And, unfortunately, I see both sides. I know the foreigners want to come here and get started just to prove themselves they're not only here for a green card, but at the same time, that's just how the immigration justice system in our in the basic, not even in the country but around the world is. You gotta have a lot of paperwork. You gotta prove yourself. And it's a lot of hard work. So I'm leaning towards on the American side about this. So I'm not being biased. I'm trying not to be biased about it, but it was just. It was a good debate. It was a good debate, but I see both sides. But it is a lot of paperwork. So I stand by Eve's side with that. So, but like I say, Eve and Mohammed, the friend came out, Tatiana came out, and they discussed things. They hugged it out. Great job. Now let's go to Ari and Benny. So, last week it was revealed that Benny got his green card and everything, and Benny wants to be this MMA fighter. Benny has been, him and Ari are still having their ups and downs, and I'm going to get into this. Apparently, Benny has been spending a lot of time in Las Vegas, because I guess that's where, if he wants to be an MMA fighter, that's where they do it from. He's been spending a lot of time in Vegas. He loves his son, Avi, and this and that. Ari went back to Ethiopia because she was on some mission work. Giving food to some camps because I guess Ethiopia is in a war right now as well. So she went over and did some missionary work, and I think I've seen something about that on Instagram. So I give kudos to Ari for that. However, this is where things got a little bit weird. Now, in the past, when Ari and Benny were separated, Benny would shut his phone off, and that would irritate Ari to the max. That was Ari's number one rule: do not turn off your phone and avoid me. Well, and he used to do that a lot when he was partying in Ethiopia. Well, this time when Ari goes to Ethiopia and Benny stays back, she also took Avi. She was there for 3 months. She told Benny she was going to be gone for only 1 week, and she stayed there for 3 months. Just like back on last year on the other way, when she went home back to America for Avi's surgery, she was supposed to only be gone for a month, and then she was like, I'm never coming back, and it was a few months later before they met up in Kenya. So it's just like a pattern. Every time Ari gives him a time limit, it's always way longer. 1 week turned into 3 months. So he was without his son for 3 months, and it was on purpose. I give credit to Ari doing the missionary work and helping out like that. I love that. I respect that. But come on. And then what's worse is that she pulled a him. She decided, I'm going this time, and I'm blocking his number. I'm like, you're blocking his number? She's like, yeah, because I don't want to deal with it this time. I don't want to know, and I don't want to deal with it. And I'm pulling a Benny. I'm like, y'all married. And they were like, yeah, but, and then Benny said that he tried calling Ari, but it didn't work, but he wasn't thinking too much into it, but he was giving her the benefit of the doubt, but she doesn't give him the benefit of the doubt, so he just thought like she was just busy. And he said he talked to her only a couple times, but didn't think much of it. And he didn't know that she had blocked him. So everybody's just like, this is just not healthy. Do y'all even want to be married? Well, it's more so Ari. Does she even want to be married? And she was just like, that's not healthy, but it worked. And I'm just like, that's just ridiculous. And we're starting to think that she really likes her ex-husband Leandro better. Ari clearly, I was so happy when they got married, but Ari clearly is just not ready. It just doesn't want to be with anybody. She does not know what she wants, and she's just doing all these weird things. Like, everything she's doing is just weird and uncommon. Hanging more time with your ex-husband, you divorced your ex-husband for really no reason. Why divorce him if you're still best friends with them, and you were just young and dumb and in love at the time, but there was really no reason for the divorce in the first place. And then you're stringing Benny along. You're not getting what you want with Benny. Like, she's just all over the place, and it's sad, and it's really disturbing. Like, blocking your husband. Like, come on. Like, it's just, and Benny's a good man. He is trying. From when he got to America, he's living the American dream. Like, he got here. He's being a great father to Avi. Remember, we saw him sewing Avi's outfit for the wedding. He wants to be this big MMA fighter. He trained so hard. Remember his amateur fight when he knocked that dude out in 33 seconds? Like, Benny is like doing everything he can, but Ari, now part of me agrees a little tiny bit with Jabri that she's not supporting him that much with his dreams. But there's a way you could say that. But yeah, Ari just, I loved Ari when I very first seen her, but she just like went completely down. It's just not. I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan anymore. I'm more Team Benny. I was Team Ari in the beginning, but I'm more Team Benny now. Just blocking your don't even get me started. I could go on and on for that. So yeah. And then it was also brought up back in the beginning of the season when Ari told Benny's sisters that she was moving to the United States, and Benny's sisters threw wine on her face. That was brought up, and the rest of the cast, like Kara and Shida, they were like, she would not be. If their sisters did that to her, they would be cut off, and they were upset that Benny didn't say anything. Like Benny, they were upset that Benny didn't say anything. Why didn't you say anything, Benny? He's just like, I didn't want to make the situation worse. I love Ari and I love my sisters. They're all I have and stuff. I didn't want to make the situation worse. So, and I'm going to get into that, and come back to Ari and Benny for a minute. I'm going to go over to Jabri and Miona. So, Jabri and Miona. So, as we all know, Jabri's been so ignorant throughout this whole tell-all. Been so ignorant. So it's finally his segment, and it was revealed that his parents did not join in on the tell-all. He really hasn't talked to his parents since like right before the wedding. So, and that's unfortunate. That is sad. But they're living in Palm Springs, and they want to just travel all around the world. They're claiming they're doing really good, and stuff. They brought out Jabri's bandmate and best friend, David. Remember David? He got into a fight with him at the studio. And the past, David had put Jabri in a coma and stuff. So David came out, and David said, bro, you did not invite me to the wedding. You didn't call me. You just cut me off. And Jabri was just like, you had issues with Miona from the get-go and stuff, and we've had our issues and stuff. But, we're best friends. Like, you cut all of us off, and now you're upset. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. And I was thinking of that, Jabri cut off everybody around him for Miona. And now he's upset, and then now gets upset because he had got no support from his parents or his best friend. But it's his fault. it's his fault. When you're in a band, you got to separate. You got to try to separate your home life and your professional life. It's easier said than done, believe me, I know, but that needs to be done. So Jabri gets like a baby and starts stormed off, and it's like, why does he want to be Mr. Nice Guy? He knows this, and that, and he comes back. They discuss it, and Sean asks, is this friendship done? And they were like, we've had problems before, and we worked them out. And then, Debbie was just like, I was wrong about Miana, and I'm sorry. And then they got up and they hugged. Whoop-de-doo, whatever. Later, but still, Jabri was still, even after that, was still taking shots. He was still bashing Ari and Benny. And then he had the nerve to even say that, what, Ari and Benny, they ain't going to work out. And then he even pointed over to Bilal and Shida that said that they're not going to work. He was like, I want them to work, but they're not going to work and stuff. And Ari called him out about, when he was fighting with John, Ari called him out and said, like, you don't like people being bullied, but you've been bullying me the whole day, basically. He's like, I'm not bullying you, I just feel like you need to be some more supportive. But he still was bullying him. And then there was also a scene when they were still talking to Emily's parents about the breastfeeding. Ari thought that he was mocking Benny's voice. And Ari called him out, you should stop that now. Don't make fun of Benny. Don't be bullying Benny. And Jabri was like, I'm not making fun of Benny. He was talking to Kobe's parents and stuff about this. And Ari thought that he was talking about him and stuff, and so she jumped in. So there's clearly a lot of tension. And that scene, I'm going to side with Jabri on that one. He wasn't making fun of Benny. He was talking about Emily and Kobe and their little breastfeeding situation. But still, Jabri was had to say, I was laughing at them, not you. You're definitely not funny. And so definitely not laughing at you. So even that, it was just, I couldn't take Jabri throughout this whole tell-all. And, John, and when he was fighting with John, John did not say anything, like, really to start that mess. So I think Jabri ought to be ashamed of himself on how he acted throughout this whole tell-all. He was definitely immature. And, I hate to say it, like, it's a wonder why, like, his parents are really upset with him and are not speaking with him right now because of his attitude. He did say at the end, I do need to work on my anger and quit trying to fight everybody. Like, I don't know why he came to the tell-all just ready to fight for. Like, there was no need. Nobody was going to attack him and stuff, and he was attacking everybody. And Miana did not say anything. I was really upset that Miana didn't say nothing. I was upset that Benny didn't say nothing, and I was upset that Patrick didn't say nothing. He attacked a lot of people that was close to their lives, and they did not say anything. Now, saying nothing means, I was upset he didn't say nothing, but at the same time, I understand they don't want to escalate into something even worse. But still, like, Benny, you got to stick up for your woman. Patrick, that's your brother, and Miana, you need to check your husband. Clearly. So I just wonder if that in real life situations, I know in some relationships and real life situations that was to happen, there would be some big problems. So yeah, that was Jabri and Miana. So I think that was it at the tell-all. Even it was okay. Now I can talk about this since this was on the show. After they filmed the tell-all, it was also revealed in the screen that when they got back days after the tell-all, even Mohammed, those text messages I mentioned about last week, I didn't want to confirm nothing until it was necessarily true. Well, it was true. Mohammed was talking to another girl, and he was talking about, I only want this green card, like, you're so cute and stuff. And Eve caught him and was irritated, and Mohammed was upset. He cried, and he was like, I had to tell this girl not to text me no more. I'm a married man, and Eve does not deserve that. And when I saw what the messages had read, it was just it was just my everything I felt about Muhammad throughout the season was just justified right then and there. You know, I could not stand Muhammad throughout this whole season, and what he did, and what he said in those text messages just proved my point there. So he ought to be ashamed of himself. I think him and Eve are still together, but that's just unfortunate. So so yeah, that was the tell-all, guys. You know, again, congratulations to Kara and Thais. They are pregnant and they're expecting. I'm happy for them. You know, like, this was a really, you know, a lot of people on social media were saying, this has been a bad season, blah, blah, blah. I actually thought this was a really good season. We were perfect. We were 7 for 7. I don't think that's ever happened in 90-day history, being 7 for 7. You know, so, you know, everybody for the most part seems to be doing well. You know, I'm not really worried about these couples. The only couple I'm kind of worried about is Ari and Benny, because Ari, you know, just don't know what she wants, but you know, I hope they can work it out. They said that, like, if Avi gets older, will you still be together? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And, you know, it's unfortunate, but, you know, I just hope they can work it out. So, Ari and Benny, we're praying for them. You know, Patrick and Thais, you know, they got, John needs to get his act together. I do agree with that. John needs to get his act together, especially before the baby's born. Kara and Guillermo, they seem to be doing well. You know, Kara just needs to tone it down just a little bit. You know, you're about to have a baby, so just tone it down. Jabri and Miona, y'all do what y'all want to do. Don't listen to nobody. Emily and Kobe, just move out of your parents' house. You got 2 kids now, 2 beautiful babies now, so just try to get out on your own. Even Mohammed, you got a lot of making up to do. That's all I can say about that. And Bilal and Shida, you know, we're going to be seeing more of their journey on Happily Ever After. So we'll see how that picks up. So, yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. We are officially done with 90 Day Fiancé Season 9. It's over. It's done. I'll be back on Wednesday to do Married at First Sight, and I will be recapping next week when we hit Happily Ever After. So again, I just want to run down the Happily Ever After couples one more time for you guys. We're going to have Elizabeth and Andre, Jovi and Yara, Jenny and Submit, Bilal and Shida, Kimberly and Usman, Angela and Michael, and Big Ed and Liz. Those are your Happily Ever After Season 7 couples. I will be recapping that. So thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll be back. Like I said, I'll be back on Wednesday to do Married at First Sight. And you guys have a great day.